Howdy, folks. Come on in, gather around. Let's talk a spell. It's weekly recap time, everybody. Woo, woo. You know what time it is? Weekly recap. I go over my weeks. I break it down for you. I tell you what I did, why I did it. I break down the finances of it and, the variable cost. You'd have to input your own fixed cost. At the end, you'll hear me say, this is the money left to do what I have to do with. And, I'm leased to an 80-20 split reefer carrier. I run a pretty fuel-efficient operation with a Freightliner Cascadia. And I pull mostly reefer freight, and these are 7-day weeks, unless it's a shorter week, and then I'll let you know it was a shorter week. And that's it. That's how I break it down. Not misleading anyone. It's very simple. If you think I'm misleading you in this, do me a favor. Go to the local hardware store, get yourself a ball peen hammer, and just go right in the head, because that's it's about where you're at in life. If you think this is misleading, I've been doing these for over 3 years now, and it's a weekly recap, and that's why I find it not misleading. I don't say Cash is going to give you every detail of his business. That's not what this is. This is a weekly recap, not a weekly breakdown of every single thing. It's not. It's a general thing. I don't want you, I'll tell you specifically, I don't want you running or setting up a business only on my numbers, okay? Take my numbers and put them with other people's numbers. Go out there, do a lot of research before you get into any kind of business, okay? Don't be not good at anything in life and then think you're just going to watch a weekly recap and all of a sudden you're going to be a business whiz. It's not how I set this up, okay? And I do want to offer you one thing, okay, today before we get started. Join the winning gang. Hashtag winning gang. Go ahead and join up. And I'm going to tell you how you join up. You don't join up by saying, I'm all in, Cash. No. To join the winning gang, you have to truly join. Okay, it's not like a gang. I'm not going to ask you to go beat up an old lady. We're not that type of gang. But you have to do what I would like to call a self-reflection. Okay, do you really want to be a winner, or are you happy with your loser mentality? Okay, because a lot of people on the internet here lately have got into a loser mentality, especially in the trucking world, and it's really bringing me down. Because I used to like watching some of these guys. Now it's just like, I don't know. Let's go to Costco. I'll get you the big box of Kleenexes so you can dry those tears. So instead of me misleading you, let me put you on a direct path. Let me lead you. Let me take you by the hand, okay, and lead you out of the woods. Because I feel like some of these guys are in the woods. So listen to me here real quick. Stop with the loser mentality, okay? Things happen in life. You think everything's went perfect for me? Look at me. So I'm sitting in a Cascadia in BFE, Pennsylvania. Not everything has went correctly, but I want to tell you this: I don't let it just bring me down all the way around. Okay, when one thing goes wrong, that's an opportunity to build confidence. Okay, I don't like it when everything goes right. Because then you got you feel like you didn't do nothing. I went through that like greased lightning. I didn't earn that. You know what I mean? When you earn it, it gives you confidence. So don't get down. Don't get down. Let me lead you out of the woods with that mentality, because it's going to affect everything in your life. Stay positive, okay? Find the positives. Stop saying everybody else is doing things wrong and that's why you failed. And that's why you can't succeed. Because Cash didn't mislead you. Okay? I break it down. I tell you what's going on. I give you so much advice. Honest to God, many people have succeeded on less. Okay? I'm just saying. Maybe it's a you thing, not a me thing. But anyway, let's get to the weekly recap. This is the week ending. This will end November right here. This is the end of November 2022. Ow, I just hit my funny bone. This is the end of 2022, and let's talk about it. So I grabbed a load. This was after Thanksgiving. I came back up and I just grabbed another load and went. So, because I did my Thanksgiving before Thanksgiving. So I grabbed another load out. This was like the day after Thanksgiving. I think I picked this up on a Friday. I picked up a 2-pick, 1-drop, Minnesota down to Texas. And I don't go to Texas much. I have to have a backhaul lined up out of Texas. I have been skint going to Texas so many times. It's not even funny. So when they call me with a load to Texas, normally I'm filling in for someone because they got people that normally do the Texas runs already that love it and whatever. But I'm like, okay, we'll go. They said, we already got a backhaul. You're good. Coming straight back to Minnesota. I could do that. I said, okay. So I went and picked up this 2-pick, 1-drop, 69 miles of deadhead on that, 953 loaded miles on that. And that was counting, all running around. The 2 stops were pretty close together, so not too bad on that. That load paid $3,800. It weighed 40,000 pounds, and it was negative 10 degrees. So we get down to Texas, and then, the wheels come off the cart. And, boy, let me tell you, that was a rough week to be in Texas looking for reefer freight. So I get down there, and I start driving north because my load is picking up out of Arkansas, my backhaul. So instead of picking a load up out of Texas, I'm supposed to go up, pick up a load out of Arkansas that pays as good as the loads out of Texas, and I can deadhead, 200 something miles, go up there, catch that load, come right back to the house. Does not work out like that. I start deadheading north. I probably drove 150 miles north, and I get a call that says, hey, Arkansas load just canceled. Yeah. So not good. I'm still in I'm at like the Texas Arkansas border area at this point. And yeah, kind of rough. Not a lot of good freight there. That was a Monday. I do remember that. And so I got $200 for truck order not used on that. Actually, the load was out of Oklahoma back to Minnesota. That's what it was. So then I'm already like at the Oklahoma Texas line. That's where I'm at. And then they call me and say, hey, we got a little short load if you want it, just to fill it in so you can go make some money today, because there's nothing back to Minnesota. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. We'll go do that. It actually paid really good. It was from Arkansas over to Illinois, over to Onley, Illinois, 38,000 pounds, negative 10 degrees. Paid $1,850 on that load, which is pretty dang good because it was only 463 loaded miles. Now I had 292 miles of deadhead to get there, but it wasn't the end of the world. The 292 deadhead, not the end of the world, because I had got the $200 tow new. So that I kind of figured that is paid for that. So, and it just got me back closer to the house. It's like I learn occasionally. I go to Texas, and if things fall apart on me in Texas, I know I'm going to be riding back a lot, because I'm not going to haul loads. Like, I was looking at loads out of Dallas area. I delivered into north of Dallas, and I was looking at loads out of Dallas, loads back to even not even great places, like loads from Texas over to Florida were barely $2 a mile at the time. And I'm like, phew, man, Texas was hurting. And honestly, I ain't even looked at it since then, because I don't care. It's I got burnt. I ain't going back there for a minute. It's just not my thing, So I took that short load that put me over in Illinois, and I kind of figured I knew what they were doing when they gave me that load, because, typically we go over to St. Louis, and, there's loads from St. Louis back to Minnesota. That's a pretty common lane. So that's what we did. We went over to Onley, and then out of there the very next day got unloaded. And that Arkansas to Illinois, that was like an overnight run. I loaded that like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and then it delivered like early the next morning at to Walmart in Onley. So good paying overnight run. Honestly, yeah, good overnight run there. And then we went from St. Louis, 44,000 pound dry load, so that helped out. Didn't have to run the reefer. That went back up to Minnesota, 122 empty miles, 618 loaded miles. That paid $1,500, which is like $2 a mile, all miles. So kind of rough out of that area too. We're just in a tight area right now as far as these rates go. But that's it for the week. 3 loads. We went down to Texas, came back up to Arkansas, over to Illinois, like central Illinois, ran that back over to St. Louis, and then St. Louis back to Minnesota. Total miles for the week, 2,417 total miles. We generated $7,350 in revenue. That's kind of where I'm trying to be these days, above 7,000 with some gravy on top. So 73.50, my 80% is 58.80. And this was a full 7-day week, like I said. 24.17 all miles, 483 of that was empty miles. 483. Hey, it is what it is, you know. That's why I like a fuel efficient operation. So when I have to deadhead 400 and 500 miles, you know, I set my cruise at like 62, 63 when I'm deadheading. I try to find me a prime truck and just fall in behind him and draft him. And I can get about 10 miles a gallon doing that. If it's good flat ground and the weather ain't so cold out, I can typically get up like almost to 12 miles a gallon doing that. But, at 10, it's not hurting me that bad, because what is that? 483 empty miles. I mean, it's a lot of empty miles for the week, but let's break down what that costs me. Hardly anything. Because if I can get 10 miles a gallon, and I know there's people out there, oh, you can't, no truck gets 10 miles a gallon, Let me tell you, they do. They do all day long now. Maybe you should look into it, make some real money. But, yeah, so if you put that in, let's say it's not even 10, let's say it's like 9 something. Say I use 50 gallons of fuel on all that deadheading, 50 gallons, okay? So, let's break it down. $4 a gallon, I'm getting fuel on Mudflap for $4 a gallon these days. Yeah, $200. That's $200 to deadhead all that for the week. And that, I generated some damn good rate per mile when I was loaded. So, think about that. I don't want to be misleading. You know what I'm saying? I want to be very upfront and tell you a fuel efficient operation is the way to go. So 1934 loaded miles. So 20% deadhead for the week. It is what it is when they cancel on you. And you're in the middle of nowhere. When you're in that, like, between, when you're in that Texas, Oklahoma border down there, like, not even on like 35, like when you're off on like, what's that, US 69 or I don't know what, you know what I'm talking about down there? That cuts up like Big Cabin, from like, like Dallas area to Big Cabin, Oklahoma. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like when you're out in that area and they call you and tell you a load is canceled, let me tell you something. You're screwed. Because there ain't no freight out there. There ain't no freight out there. I mean, maybe if you got a tanker and you haul oil, or you got to deal with an Indian casino to haul some freight out there, you on a buckus. You know what I mean? You got nothing. So we just do the deadhead, do the damn thing. 304 all miles. Praise the Lord for 304 all miles. Very profitable at 304. That makes it $243 a mile to me, my 80%. That's a sweet spot. I can make real good money right there. $380 a loaded mile. So we were getting to some good paying freight. We just had to drive a long way to get it. And, that's what you got to do sometimes. So that's it. Let's break down the variable cost real quick. I spent $17.91 in diesel. Damn, that's a lot of diesel for me. But if you recall from the last weekly recap, I went home on basically empty. So as you know, I just, not intentionally, I was on a tight scheduled load, and instead of stopping and getting fuel, I said I got enough to take it into the house and still have, a quarter of a tank. So I kind of started this week on a quarter of a tank, and then I bought $625 worth of diesel right before I got back to the house. So it is what it is. Big week on diesel. $17.91 on diesel this week. $113 on the reefer. $26 on scales. I scaled those first two loads, and honestly, it was funny because the last load was the heaviest, but I didn't scale it. If I'm not mistaken, they have a scale on site there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got to see the weights. Yeah, I did. So, scaled two loads, $39 in tolls. There's some areas down there in Oklahoma where I'll take the, I just take the toll road, It is what it is. $39 on tolls. $19.69 on variable cost. $1,969 on variable cost. You bring over my $58.80. You subtract $19.69, and that will leave you with $39.11 left to do what I have to do with. I put $500 of that in the maintenance fund, and that leaves me $34.11 after maintenance cost comes out. $34.11 to kind of run my business and my life. And like I said, very survivable. Very survivable. It's not the greatest week, but hey, we're in a market that's not the greatest right now. So like I said, the new goal for me is $7,000 a week. If I can put some gravy on top of it, that's a bonus, because every little bit helps in this type of market. One thing I will break down for you real quick. Weekly fuel cost was 74 cents for the week. Was weekly fuel cost 74 cents for the week, per mile. 74 cents per mile. And then this was the end of November, so I did a monthly fuel cost, and I was at 62 cents per mile fuel cost for the month. So there you go, 64 cents a mile. So when you see these guys on YouTube talking about, fuel cost being $1 a mile, just know that is not typical for me. I'm not even going to be anywhere near a dollar. It's just nothing. I mean, you take $113 in reefer, even if you put reefer cost in there. One thing I forgot to put in there, I just noticed, I did not put my DEF fluid in there. So of the $34.11, minus $33 in DEF. So I forgot to put DEF in there. Not trying to mislead anybody. I just forgot to write it down. It's up here on my, where I write down everything about my trips. I got a $33 DEF right there, but I forgot to transfer it down here to the variable cost. Please forgive me. But that's it for the week, guys. Good week. We're going to keep them up. Like I said, this is from the end of November. I'm not sure. I have to go back and look at it. I may have took off after this, because I took off 2 weeks in December, and it was early December. So I think I might have did one more out and back, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100% on that. So you'll just have to wait and tune in next week to find out. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down there. Smash the like button for me if you could. I'd much appreciate it. Hang around. I got an ad that runs here at the end if you need some truck products. Be sure to watch that ad. Lots of good information. Check out everything in the description down below, and take care of each other. Remember, people are more important than trucking. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around. Just want to talk to you a little bit about a company I'm partnering with, Mighty Products, spelled M-Y-T-E-E. You flatbed guys probably already know them. They are huge into flatbed straps, tarps, everything, toolboxes. I mean, they sell everything for trucking. Go check them out. Links are down there in the comments and in the description of the video. Check it out. I really appreciate them reaching out and wanting to work with my channel. It helps me out tremendously if you shop through my link. I would much appreciate it. And let me know what you think about them if you do buy something from them. Thanks. Appreciate your feedback.